Hi, my name's Tim with ABC Acres here in Hamilton, Montana. It's mid-April and we're coming from my house here on the farm. Even though it's mid-April, we're experiencing temperatures, evening temperatures, fluctuating from just above and just below freezing. But we're taking this time to clean out our fireplace as well as our wood stove here on the property. Before you go ahead and just clean out the wood ash and discard it, do know that you have an asset here that we can use in the gardens, in the orchards, in the compost piles. Wood burned ash remains are high in lime, potassium, and other trace nutrients and minerals. So we can take this understanding, look, observe our farm, and where we might want to utilize this product in the garden, in the orchard, in the compost pile, and other locations. It can raise the pH. So understanding what you're growing, where you're growing it, maybe this would be a nice amendment. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and clean this out. I'm not going to bore you with that, but one of the things you want to utilize for safety's sake is a metal bucket. You know, if you haven't fired it up for a couple of weeks, no problems, but sometimes you're burning a lot and you want to empty it the day after. Sometimes the wood ash, the coals can potentially still be hot. So a metal bucket is good for that. I'm going to take the time to empty it really quick right now, and then we'll go out into the field and show you how we're using it to amend and improve the productivity of the farm. Our first stop takes us to our main vegetable garden. Here we can add in the wood ash to a makeshift compost system we have here in line with our Coop 1, our mobile Coop 1 flock. Adding the wood ash is a good balance of potassium to a system where chickens are coming in, digging through some green and brown manures that we've put in here, waste from straw and hay and food scraps, where they're introducing nutrient-rich nitrogen through their waste. And so the potassium is a good balance to that in the potassium and lime makeup is a good balance to that in the wood ash. So now them digging through manuring will mix that, and then when we test the compost to get a better understanding of its pH values and components, we can then add that as an amendment throughout the vegetable garden and other locations. Our next stop is on our orchard here on the farm, an old orchard, 30, 40 years old. I'm currently underneath our plum trees. Now I mentioned to you that the wood ash can raise the pH. So there are certain fruit trees that prefer maybe a little more of an acidic soil. So you need to be aware of, if you're going to apply these to fruit trees, which fruit trees you're applying them to. Plums, in this case, cherries, can handle a moderately alkaline soil. So I feel very confident in just very generously dropping the wood ash at the base of these trees. And it's really not much more than that. We're on a rainy season. They're going to go ahead and dissipate into the soil on their own. So I'm not going to be worried about trying to rake this in. We have some pin cherries on the property, more of an ornamental for the birds, but that's another place where I'll be adding the wood ash. Lastly, another opportunity for the wood ash I mentioned earlier in our video, orchard, compost pile, as well as the garden. So you could apply it directly into the garden, understanding that it's important for you to have an idea of your current soil amendments in the garden. You could go ahead and do a soil test to understand if you're deficient in potassium. There are certain edibles, for instance, potatoes, if they're rich in potassium, it can lead to scab development. So you want to be smart about where you're applying it and what you're applying it to. These are three ways that we're utilizing the wood ash to enhance the productivity here at ABC Acres: in the garden, in the compost piles, in the orchards. If you have any questions on this, please put them in the box below. Let us know how you're utilizing your wood ash. Certainly there's things that we can learn from you, the viewer, as well. So thanks very much for watching. Have a great day. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.